Yes, my friends, I'm back to doing reviews for the show. I'm not going to do the booking thing. I want to talk long form about what is a controversial evening. When Simon Miller went on a show and give the show a thumbs up or a thumbs down, he gave it a thumbs. What the? I think that's pretty good. That's pretty fair. But to say the show was horrible, I don't think the show was horrible, horrendous. They at least tried, and things did make sense, except for two things, which I will talk about in my review show. Overall, I thought the show was. Yeah, one person did say something correct. They were trying to throw everything at the wall. I think it was Sam Miller. They were trying to throw everything at the wall that sticks. Just trying everything, see if it works out there. Do people like this? Do people like that? Just throw it. I don't care. So we're going to go into the stuff that didn't make sense there. Okay, so I didn't talk about this last night. I watched everything completely since then, right? And I like to give my analysis on certain things and whether or not it made sense, that kind of thing. Like personally right now, the reason why I'm doing this video is because I was looking at Brian Alvarez on Twitch, and his sidekick talked about how most of stuff on the show didn't make sense. And I'm like thinking like, how old are you guys, man? I mean, like, he's Brian Alvarez, the leader of the whole wrestling insider thing besides Dave Meltzer. He said this, and I quote, well, not quote thing, I'm just getting straight to the point. He essentially said that it was stupid for WWE to have a poison angle with Montez Ford because 20 plus years ago, they did a similar angle in WCW with Ric Flair. Okay, Boomer. Seriously. You can't do a single angle because it was something that happened 20 years ago in a dead promotion. Really. I personally got a problem, and I think most people should have a problem with, if you do an angle in a company first, and then magically a week or a month later on, in that same time period, you do almost the exact same thing. I got a problem with that. I think most people should have a problem with that one. But because they did an angle from 20 years ago, don't do it again? Is that what Alvarez is saying? Are you serious? What 1834-year-old guy remembers that? No. That, like, he's taking that shit way too far. And his sidekick guy saying that the five people in black or whatever that was destroying the stuff out there, he was giving all kind of convoluted things where it could have been better, but in actuality, he was not giving better reasons and better debuts for it. I mean, like, they were throwing a lot of things up with the show. And in this very review of the thing, I will continue watching Brian Alvarez and the other guy, I think his name is Simp or whatever, review Raw, and I will pick apart what they say. But for right now, I will be going through what they did and why it was okay or why it wasn't okay for them to do so. I believe once again, that when people saw the ending of the Sasha Baszler match, that's when they changed channels and they didn't give a fuck. But maybe they did. Maybe they wanted to see more of the Raw Underground. I was tuning into Twitter and I said to myself, wow, Raw Underground's Twitter. I'm like, what's Raw Underground? Like, what's this about there? And it piqued my interest. When I heard Shane McMahon's name, being like, oh, who cares? But Raw Underground, what's that about? Is it like I think it is? Like fighting, like Fight Club shit there? It was, but it was fine. I believe that Simp guy, he was saying that for the Raw Underground thing, that the dancing girls, they needed to be spread apart so you can see them better. How about stop being so fucking picky and just enjoy the dancing girls as they are? I was surprised they even had girls in bikinis down there. I was like, shit, bring it on. You got 1834s. What better way to get them to watch than that? That's what I was thinking. Like, you want to put my adult brain in there, Like, what better way to get young guys to watch than hot girls dancing? Why not? But this like boomer guy, true boomer, he freaking says like, "Oh, they should have been spread about here and at this point and that point, and had more lighting here and less camera cuts here." He was going full blown elitist, "I'm better than you" bullshit on like what he would have did it to make it perfect and shit there. I don't think like that at all. I still think the same way as I did back in when I was watching wrestling back in the 90s and shit, the golden attitude era. I still think I just watch it, I enjoy it, and if it's cool, it's cool. If it's not, it's not. He thinks way too old. He's way too old from whatever age he really is. He's thinking technical stuff here and camera cuts here. It's only okay to do that kind of stuff if it's super annoying and it messes with your overall experience. Seeing the dancing girls there in the back or whatever, yes, they could, in my mind, they could have been in other places there to make it more ambiance thing, but at least they're there. That's what I'm thinking. At least they're there. And like they did several new unique things with the Raw Underground that was different than the norm. They had wrestlers like literally beyond wrestling style or bar wrestling style, literally on the ring, like they can touch the ring. I know they're not fans, but they're still on the ring. They had unique lighting for the actual gritty underground thing, so that was really cool. That's two things. Dancing Girls, that's three things there. You got an MC with Shane McMahon saying, "You go next," that's four things. And then stoppage of the fights from the referee, that's five things. A new look for the referee, that's six things. You know what I'm saying? They're trying something new. Give them a little bit of credit. I think every single thing they did there, except for the people on the ring, I think that was pretty much brand new to pro wrestling in general. Having MC talk and have more people come in, that's new. I've never seen that before. I watch a lot of shit. Like even like what was that thing called? I think it was called Bloodsport. I think the wrestling was called Bloodsport, where they had no ring ropes, which is that's why that wasn't new. They had no ring ropes. It was just a wrestling mat, and wrestlers come in there and they fight until it was a knockout or submission. That's the only way you can win. And using objects was extremely frowned upon, and I think just using it or touching it or whatever would be automatically DQ'd. But there were ways to get around that, and that was the fun of the show. So they were trying something new for themselves, and I had no problem with the way the Fight Club thing went out, especially the way it ended with the Hurt Business coming in there and wrecking shop. Especially when MVP said, "You want to run your mouth? You want to run your mouth?" I was cracking up. I was rolling on the floor. If you look at that, if you look at that, I watched that segment like five times. That live with the Hurt Business, I went five times because there was a lot of shit going on there. Here's what you missed in case you missed it. Okay, first of all, when it was Shelton Benjamin's turn and the big guy in there, aka what's his name, Mark Madden, the guy who got beat up by Lesnar, who never appeared again. He finally appeared again. They never mentioned him by name, but I know him when I see him. He appeared again, and then Mark Madden said, "Yo, watch your man right here." He was talking to Lashley. "Watch your man right here," because yeah. And then like, "Yo, Lashley ain't gonna do nothing." And then two moves. That guy was gone. That was fun. I like the way he put the knees in there. I love the way he palmed that little guy there and then threw him up in the ring. He was dangling by his legs and shit. And then like, yo, you want to run your mouth? You want to run your mouth? It was gold, man. That shit was gold, man. Yo, MVP, man. I love the way when they were talking the back and Cholo Caruso was like getting on their nerves, was in the Hurt Business, it was getting on the nerves. I got like an ecstatic boner without the real thing, an ecstatic boner when they got real pissed off at her. And then she gave them information they liked and they start perking up there. You see Shelton Benjamin go from like to like, and MVP went from to like, and Bobby Lashley's like, underground fighting? We We got some business, gentlemen. I was cracking up. I was like, that's how you sell. That was good ass shit right there. I was loving that. I don't care what you fucking say. And yeah, so like I think the only part that kind of like irked me, I didn't think about it at the time, but like after rewatching, which nobody said this, no WTF, no Alvarez, nobody said this part. But when the Hurt Business found out where the thing was there, how they get past the big ninja. Remember the big ninja guy, which was not identified as the big ninja? He blocked that guy from putting coffee, bringing coffee into the room for some reason. But yet, for some reason, when the Hurt Business was looking for the room, the big ninja guy did not stop them. Why is that? Magically, he let them in for some reason. So yeah, that was the only thing that kind of irked me. It was as stupid as it was kind of not really as stupid there. This was like in reality, just let him in. Fuck it. I think it was a better surprise. Like I think it was a better surprise to have the Hurt Business just come in and like out of nowhere rather than like set it up there and then go in. But like logically, the big ninja guy just vanished. That'd be something. That'd be cool. Yeah, so let's talk about the Sasha Banks and Shayna Baszler match there. So 3 times in a row, 3 times in a fucking row. Sasha versus Asuka, the pay-per-view, had a shitty ass ending. Sasha versus Asuka on Raw had a shitty ass ending that didn't make fucking sense. And then Sasha versus Baszler had a shitty ass ending that didn't make fucking sense. Why does someone who's not involved in the match get a DQ for someone in the match? Yeah, that everyone's talking about that one. That one's obvious. That doesn't make a lick of sense. Just like it didn't make sense for WWE management to allow Sasha to leave the building with the Raw Championship she stole from Asuka. Bayley is not an official, no licensed official thing, but yet she's allowed to make the 3 count. She left the building with it. She partied with it. Was allowed to come back in the building with it. Was allowed to come back on camera with it. Was allowed to leave and the building with it again. And she opened SmackDown with the Raw Championship at that point that she did not actually earn. She's allowed to do all of that shit. What are the fucking rules? Let's talk about the Nia Jax and Pat Buck segment. Pat Buck was a wrestler, but he's an agent now in WWE, which no one really seen before. So I cracked up there. I watched that segment multiple times, by the way. The reaction of Nia Jax's face was kind of surreal for like an overgrown child. She's like, "What are you gonna do about it?" And when he said that you're gonna be suspended without pay, I was like, "Oh shit!" And then she lost her shit there. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people out there have been fired for way less accidents that they couldn't control, and they got fired for it. And this person intentionally injures an official way higher up in the food chain than she is twice and is just suspended. I wonder why they can't fire her. You smell what I'm cooking. So she beats him up again, and for some reason the guy has like a tanner on his outfit. I'm thinking like, why does he get tanner on there? Because she, Nia Jax, who's pretty brown / tan herself, uses tanner, and she headbutted the guy in his chest, the meaty part of his chest. Making sure I didn't get any information from her. Okay. So she's suspended indefinitely, which kind of reality means you're fired essentially. Um, so that was a segment there. That was a really good segment. Seth Rollins doing the thing with Todd Phillips. The fear in Todd Phillips was really cool. I like that as well. Yeah, I would be shocked if in the entire time Sasha and Bailey had been bribing or doing favors to keep those championships. They learned their lesson from that WrestleMania. The WrestleMania when they lost them, the Iconics got on their knees and got the championship, and they didn't want to. Now they learned to suck it up. So yeah, the promo from Drew was really cool as well. You can tell there was a lot of passion in there. I like the when Randy Orton said, "Tell me something original that no one else has done before." That was really cool. The flickering lights issue, nah, it's okay. Um, the Shayna punch that she gave to Sasha Banks in the back hit air. I was like, ugh, fucking ridiculous. KO saying to the Iconics that you can't be in the show, then they show up anyway. Um, I, Hold up. Is it my eyes when you look at me? I am so gorgeous. I'll set you free. Just my walk, or just my stare, I'll make you freeze when I appear. Super good looking, every hair in place. Here we go. Yeah, I like the Ruby Riot segment there. I didn't buy Ruby Riot talking about how everything was different. That's why I had to betray you. I didn't buy that at all. But Liv Morgan did, at least for now. So at least they're in an alliance again, so that's cool. Um, grade D. Okay, I'll give you this part. Despite being suspended, her music played as she made herself to the back. Yeah, but a D for that? Don't even grade that. Yet she came back and now she's gone again. Okay, they gave the 21st Championship thing an F. It didn't make a lot of sense. Arthur stole the championship, which is kind of weird, but he never did it before. But he did it this time for some reason. And then the championship was in a triple threat match. A lot of chaos there. Akira Tozawa wins. Good finish with an actual one, not a roll up. So that was kind of cool. If you're gonna give a D to Naya and Pat Buck, you got to give a D to this match because the match ended with bullshit. Analysis, they said, did Baszler just get disqualified because Asuka jumped a woman not in the actual match? Fucking stupid. Then they said the match was fine before the lazy finish because they didn't want to have Shayna lose because she's kind of strong and Sasha lose because she's kind of strong. So what did they do? Bullshit finish. The setup for next week's match couldn't be any clunkier. Like, since when does Sasha have the ability to make matches? Sasha said, "You want a championship match with me, but you got to beat an NXT former NXT champion and a member of the Four Horsewomen." And then she points to her friend and not her. What the fuck? Who approved that shit? It's fucking stupid. Montez Ford getting poisoned. I don't mind the fact that they didn't show his cup being poisoned. Just a reaction for it. The way they set things up was fine because some poisons work differently for people. Sometimes it works immediately. Sometimes it works like delayed. Sometimes it comes on strong, goes away, comes back. Poison is very random. So I thought they're trying to do a poison angle with them. I don't want to see where this goes, so I think it's fine. Dominic put on a great performance. He know his moves. He looked good out there, so it's fine. It's fine. They gave an A to the Hurt Business. Damn right. Ziggler was there for some random reason. Just reading what they say about the analysis. Okay, cool. Yeah. So overall, it was a wacky show. So from this point on, I'm going to be listening to Meltzer and Simp talk about the show, and then I'll cut their shit in half.
The dumbest thing I'd ever heard, but last night I saw a match on Raw where somebody came out of the back and attacked someone at ringside. Neither competitor in the match, and they called for the belt. Dude, we see this on every show. Somebody runs out and attacks somebody at ringside. Every show this happens. This week, it was a DQ because somebody forgot the rules after 74 years, or they were just like, and they just decided that was what they were going to do for a finish.
You kind of sound like Asuka's promo there a little bit.
This person here says, this Raw Underground stuff could have been really cool if Impact or any other promotion did it. Listen, first off, Chikara did this. I'm 90% sure, based on something that I was told, that this is where they got the idea. Somebody saw them doing basically this in Chikara and this. But listen.
Dude. Bar Wrestling and Beyond Wrestling, I think Bloodsport has this, the exact same setup. I think with fans like around the ring, but like not that there's a barricade there in so much before, not really a barricade, but like, they're separated from the ring so they can do outside stuff on the ring. But Bar Wrestling, the fans are on the mat, on the outside of the ring. They're on the mat. But lack of ring ropes, that's from Bloodsport. And Chikara Wrestling always had ring ropes, so I don't know what that's about.
This isn't going to work anywhere because you've got a professional wrestling show where people are doing professional wrestling matches. But then you cut away to real fights.
Real fights.
Which, by the way, aren't real, so they're bad. I mean, they would...
Someone in the comments said GCW does this, Bloodsport. There we go.
It'd be bad if they were real, and they would be bad...
Bloodsport, Josh Barnett. Yep, that's correct. That's someone else knows that. So, and another person says this as well. Josh Barnett, Blue. Was that Blue same name? No, different name. No, all different names. Yeah, all different names. They know that, Josh Barnett, Bloodsport. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much the same format. Yeah, pretty much the same format. Yeah.
And if they weren't real. But, so what am I supposed to believe? That, like, Raw Underground, Shane McMahon is...
another bullshit lie that Brian Alvarez is trying to spread to the masses that he's not going to correct. So his voice is supposed to be law to the people, but he got information wrong on something that was rather important. Ugh.
Brought real fighting to Raw in the middle of all of the fake fighting that everybody else does.
Like, there was 2 minutes of combined action on these fights and 9 million camera cuts. They still showed somebody slapping their leg in this real fight.
Yes. Well, Eric of the Viking Raiders gets in there, and he does all of the moves he does in a normal match. But in a normal match, they just keep wrestling. But in Raw Underground, he hits his knee, and the guy's knocked unconscious, and you've got to stop the fight, because I guess that's real, but everything else is fake. No promotion. As Dave noted last night, Inoki tried this with New Japan. It didn't work in Japan. If it didn't work in Japan, it ain't going to work here. I'll tell you.
Because we're the same people as Japan. Quink, quink.
Ain't that much. Antifa being a new heel faction will surely grab the 18 to 34 demo, this person says. No way Raw did over 1.5 million. Dude. Charlie interviewed the Bachelorette for YouTube and alerted her that she had a Garza crush. It was the most unnatural thing I've ever seen. Well, I mean, it's going to be hard to top a Lacey Evans promo.
I didn't necessarily mind the Bachelorette girl coming on the show randomly. I don't know why she was there, but to promote The Bachelor for some reason. Okay, but Angel Garza, of all people, hitting on her, not a surprise there. he would hit on. He's like Tony Stark would on anything that has a T. So yeah.
Well, but I'll take your word for it.
Nia Jax was suspended, by the way.
Yeah, Nia Jax was suspended. Okay, so.
Oh shit! Brian Alvarez is going on. He's going to go for it. You can tell because his face is in his hand. He's going to go for it hard here. Here we go. This is going to be nuts.
So last week, Nia Jax got mad about something, which was so compelling I don't even remember, and she beat up Pat Buck. So the storyline is that she needs to come out and apologize to Pat Buck. So she comes out, and of course it's the usual WWE deal. She doesn't apologize. She pretends like she's going to, but then she doesn't. She wants to fight Pat Buck. Pat Buck says no. She insists, so then he suspends her. She notes, you have no power to suspend me. He even noted, the only reason I'm out here was I was told to come out because there was going to be an apology. What?
Got I's cross T's.
What? And they suspend Nia, and like, I don't know if we're supposed to care or what, but like she beats up Pat Buck. You know, the other thing too, I mean, I realize that I particularly hated this episode of Raw. Maybe I'm in the minority here, but this is going to be a weird analogy, but it's going to make sense. Years ago, CM Punk did a pipe bomb promo where he buried WWE. He buried Vince McMahon. He buried Triple H. He just ran roughshod verbally over this company. Do you guys remember this promo? Famous promo. I'm sure y'all remember.
I do.
So it comes out that, in fact, that was supposed to be a heel promo. In Vince's mind, when CM Punk said all of these bad things about Raw, you were supposed to turn on him.
What?
Saying such terrible things about the WWE Universe. Instead, he cuts, and this promo touches a nerve with fans. They're like, damn right! This guy's right about everything. He was like a folk hero after this promo. Vince is so clueless, he thought that this was going to be a heel promo. So now we've got like a group that wants to take down.
This product sucks. These people abusing their power sucks. And yeah, and then like we're supposed to boo. The only part of that CM Punk promo that we actually booed was when CM Punk said that you, the fans, are buying programs without my face on there. That was heelish. Everything else, we was like, you're damn right.
On Raw, like there's supposed to be a heel faction. I mean, dude, I'm cheering for these people to take down this show.
Take the Molotov cocktail the whole day.
Oh man, tear this show down, please. But they're supposed to be.
You don't want the show to go away, Brian. It's paying your salary to talk about it.
Horrible people that are taking down this Raw show that you love. We'll see how this one does. We should like somehow take bets. Number one, are they going to be there next week? I mean, they probably will because they tape 2 weeks of TV. But like the week after, are they going to be there? That's number one. And then what was the other one? I've already forgotten about it. Probably like Vince has.
Well, how long do they go with Underground? How long?
Yeah, is Underground going to be there in 2 weeks? Are the Invaders and his Underground going to be there 2 weeks from now? I'm not even sure they'll be there next week because as we've already seen, he can tape a show on the same day and still change everything. Back in a moment, Observer Live. $27.27 844-913-2727. Text messages. The tour, I bury the match, but I don't think I did it thoroughly enough. It's one of the worst matches you'll ever see.
First match, for heaven's sakes. Where's your first match?
My first match, I mean, it was so long ago, I don't even remember. Like, I mean, the reality is, like, everything that Vince does, I mean, he doesn't do it because he's only going to do it for a week, unless it's like, some program to lead to the next show. I mean, they're throwing a bunch of ideas out there. They think that these are going to work. They think that these are going to attract this audience they're losing. I mean, they're out of their minds, but that's what they think. I mean, that's the big problem. They don't know what's going on anymore. I mean, you got a 74-year-old guy I mean, Bruce Pritchard has been working with WWE, if I recall, since the early '90s. Dude, it's 2020. I mean, come on. I mean, granted, like, I just watched Saturday night's main event that had a Bret Hart Randy Savage match, and it just absolutely blew my mind. This is 1987. This match was so good, timeless match. Like, yeah, there's certain things about pro wrestling that are timeless, but there's other things that they worked once and they don't work anymore. Or worse, and I see a lot of this, they didn't work the first time, but nobody knows anything about anything, and so they just repeat them. That's the worst thing. Like when I see people, oh man, you remember this from WCW? Oh, I loved this growing up. Yeah, you loved it, but you know what? It sucked, and it drove off millions of viewers or whatever. I mean, like, it's bad. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, by the way, on Bruce, he was working for the UWF when that was sold to Crockett, and then he was in the WWF as Brother Love.
Skip.
In the underground concept, but what have they done in the last God knows how many years that makes you think that they're going to stick to this? And just to throw this out there again too, to show you how Vince thinks, you brought up the deal about CM Punk and that pipe bomb, how they actually looked at that and thought that was going to be a heel promo. Becky Lynch became the biggest star in all of professional wrestling because the fans had to tell them to go cram it up their ass.
You're not talking about Raw anymore. Talk to you guys later.